So I'm sick right now, not just with the flu. I'm sick of trans activists having meltdowns over common sense. What trans activists are currently having meltdowns about is the new passport law in the US, where your biological sex has to be on your passport. Trans actor Hunter Schafer recently went viral after complaining about this new law.
The Bureau of Consular Affairs has frozen passport applications requesting a gender marker change or renewals or new applications with a gender marker differing from an applicant's gender assigned at birth. So my initial reaction to this, because our president is a lot of talk, was like, I'll believe it when I see it. Today, I saw it on my new passport mail. And I'm not making this post to fearmonger or to create like drama or receive consolation. I don't need it, but I do think it's worth posting to sort of note the reality of the situation and that it is actually happening.
I think it's interesting how she didn't expect this to actually go through. And I think it's because the US has become so woke and progressive when it comes to trans ideology, trans politics.
I also want to say I don't give a fuck that they put an M on my passport. It doesn't change really anything about me or my transness. However, it does make life a little harder.
If this change doesn't mean anything, why talk about it? Why complain about it?
Personally, I think, I haven't tested it out yet. I'll find out next week when I have to travel abroad for the first time with my new passport. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna come along with having to out myself to like border patrol agents and that whole gig much more often than I would like to or is really necessary.
I get it. Gender-wise, you want to live under the radar. You don't want people to think that you're a trans woman, that you're a man. You just want people around you to assume that you're a woman. That was the point of your transition, because that alleviated your gender dysphoria. I get that you don't want any unnecessary attention, especially when traveling, but the thing is, this is reality. You are a biological male.
I just want to say, trans people are beautiful. We are never going to stop existing. I'm never going to stop being trans. A letter and a passport can't change that, and fuck this administration. And I don't really have an answer on what to do about this.
You don't need to do anything. You just have to live your life. No one wants you to stop being trans, especially because you're a great example of a real trans woman. You're not just a man with a full-size beard and a dress on. You have made the effort to look and sound like a woman. You pass extremely well. This whole thing is about acknowledging biology. That's it. The fact that American trans people are forced to be honest about their situation, especially when traveling, is not gonna make their lives harder. It will be a tiny bit inconvenient for people like you, for the transsexuals who pass as the opposite sex. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. You still have the right to change your name. You still have the right to transition, to live your life however you want. Okay, so I know that Hunter's video wasn't that bad. She didn't have a full-on meltdown. But don't you worry. I found a couple of videos that you all are gonna love.
Beginning of January, I applied for a new passport. I paid extra for it to come in fast. Let's open it and see if the gender marker is correct and if my name is correct. My name is correct, but it says female on it. This is extremely dangerous. You're literally putting a target on trans people's back when they're traveling internationally or even coming back into the country. And the passport was the only thing that came in there. There was no letter as to why there's no M on my passport. Nothing.
Do you need a letter explaining why they didn't put an M on your passport? It would have been a really short letter. it would just say, it's because you're a female. Trans people not being able to lie in their official papers is not dangerous. It's actually rational. Look, I need to go off for a second. Instead of being grateful for the legal recognition of their gender identity, trans activists have pushed for aggressive advocacy that it has caused a backlash from both right-wing politicians and the general public, fostering a very negative perception of anything trans. This law perfectly highlights how trans activists who are not trans themselves have damaged the reputation, the acceptance, and the opportunities for real transsexuals to live discreet, happy, fulfilling lives. And I do to some degree understand if some American transsexuals are upset about this new law, but I will get back to it. I still agree with the law.
I got my passport back. They gave me an M gender marker. This is the country we live in. Now let me just clarify. I had an X passport before and requested it be changed to an F at the beginning of January. You can see it was issued February 4th, 2025. They gave me an M. I am not surprised that this happened. I know we've always been here and we're not going anywhere, but I'm frustrated. Like really, I just have no words. Let's stick together.
If trans people are not going anywhere, what are you complaining about? If you think about it, this new law is really pro-trans. If it says M for male in your passport, but you have transitioned, you look and sound like a woman, then it highlights the fact that you're trans. But if it said F for female and you wanted to present as a woman, then you're hiding the fact that you're trans, and that's not good because you're proud. Remember?
Got my passport back. Guess what's not corrected? So now I'm a male with Social Security, a male with Medicare, a female according to my passport. I couldn't even make this video when I opened it. I wanted to do a video opening it and hopefully being surprised, and of course I was so excited I just ripped it open and looked, and then got the shock of my life.
You got the shock of your life. You were shocked that you were recognized as a female, which you are. Are you also shocked when you every single day have to look down and see what you have in between your legs? Because that would be a really difficult life to live, in my opinion, but okay. I see no tears. I see no tears. It sounds like you're crying, but I don't see any tears coming out. What's up with that?
I was really hopeful. Everybody kept telling me, just stay hopeful, just stay hopeful. You submitted it before he got into office. They received my passport in their office on January 15th. This is such a fucking mess, man. If you don't know me and this is the first time you've seen me, my name is Antonio Raven. I am a chronically ill, disabled, transgender man in Orlando, Florida. I can't believe this is fucking real. Why do you gotta fuck around with people's lives? Why do you gotta play with people's lives? Like, my life is not messing with yours in any way, shape, or form.
If you're lying in your official papers about who you are, what sex you are, it is impacting other people. It's impacting TSA, doctors, and so on. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so frustrating to hear these people say, we're just living our authentic lives, we're not doing anything, when they're constantly advocating for children transitioning, for men being in women's sports and women's spaces in general. In the past, the general public didn't really care, didn't really give a fuck about transsexuals. You know, adults with severe gender dysphoria who transitioned to live better lives. People didn't care because they weren't hurting anyone. But things are different today. Trans activists have taken over the trans community. They advocate for harmful things in society. And society is forced to listen to these activists 24/7. Regular people are now being called transphobic, being called, if there are women, a TERF, for believing in common sense, and facts, and science, and biology. Okay, getting back to me supporting this law. I used to think that legal sex changes should only be for actual trans people. I strongly believe in gatekeeping, but in today's society, it is too complex, too overwhelming and confusing for the government to make the distinction between real transsexuals and fake transsexuals. So I understand that the government is saying, no more. Everyone, no matter who you are, needs to have your biological sex in your official papers, or at least in your passport. I understand and agree with the argument that it's important to be focusing on the recognition of biological sex. I think another reason why the government won't be focusing on gatekeeping is because it's a slippery slope. If a man is legally a woman, does he then have the right to be in women's spaces, in women's sports? Can we really tell him no if he's legally a female? I believe that official government documents must be grounded in reality, meaning citizens cannot simply choose the information they want to include. Alright, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. As always, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the comments down below. Peace out.